Hello and welcome to the Fire Chief's video message for June 2022. We're right in the middle of June, Pete. We're here at 32. How are things today?
Things are good. You know, we've been through a lot already. Summer's really started with a bang. The weather, we've had some pretty severe weather and some EMS surges along with that. So it's been, a bang of a start for the summer.
And we had a very significant event. We always talk about some of our recent events. Just this past weekend on Sunday, we had the Townhouse Fire on Goldstein, Watkins Mill, right across from Watkins Mill High School, back in the Apple Ridge area. Very significant event structurally and with the fire, and want to highlight that based upon the fall of a firefighter from the second floor to the basement. Yep. It's such a grace that we're here to talk today, where that member's injuries are still just bumps and bruises. They fell through the stairwell opening. So this is a townhouse unit where they have a scissor style stairs that are open. All of the stringers were burned away, all of the treads were burned away, the banisters and railings. So all there were remaining was the midpoint landings, which created the opportunity that firefighter on the second floor fell from there down to the basement. And a lot of excellent work done by the folks involved. I want to commend the transmission of the Mayday. As the Mayday was being transmitted, the folks in the basement, engine 708, already had noticed the firefighter come to the basement or land in the basement, and we're already engaging with them, helping them up as the Mayday is being transmitted, and almost less than a minute from the time the incident started to the time the firefighters out of the structure under their own power. Great work done by the crews, and a lot of opportunities for us to learn about what happened there.
And of course, leading up to that, this was, if I may set the stage a little bit, end of the road townhouse. It had been vacant for a couple of years. A passerby saw the fire, and of course by that time the fire was pretty advanced. Firefighters arrived on the scene, had pretty heavy fire conditions showing. I think the task force, ended up coming on the scene. So they had deployed firefighting teams. They were engaged in a firefight on a couple different levels. Yep. And then this all happened very quickly, and from start to finish it was a fast and quick event.
Right. So there's a lot of things that are being learned and pieced together. So this is that shift's first day back is today from that event. The opportunities to realize that the Rapid Intervention Company and the Rapid Intervention Dispatch was on scene. Very rare in that perspective that Maydays frequently or more frequently occur prior to the assembly of that RID set of resources. But they were in place, not utilized, not needed, because the companies mitigated it themselves. Most specifically, and to the benefit of everybody involved, the fire had been extinguished in the basement. The fire had been extinguished on the first floor. Crews were present on both levels, as well as the crew that was advancing on the second floor, and with limited to no active fire on all three levels of the structure when this occurred. A lot of points to take out of that, a lot of points to realize that things can happen at any time. It's not just the beginning, it's not just during the firefight and all of those activities. So there's a lot of things, and as I wrote, what ifs? How will we do? And will we be ready for? So a lot of things that we're learning, and a lot of things that I'd like everybody to think about. We're not Monday morning quarterbacking, we're not armchairing the incident, but we will share that information as soon as it's validated and able to be passed out and passed on. But a lot of good stuff, and crews today and tomorrow and the next week can look at and have that lineup / beginning of shift conversations to talk about and be ready.
Right. And just a couple days before that, we did have a significant townhouse fire in Olney, St. Augustine Court, in fact. Of course, not much as far as drama there, but it was a significant fire, and we haven't had any significant fires per se in the last couple of weeks, and then those two right in close succession to each other.
So and a lot of other incidents, medical, vehicles, transportations, a lot of activities going on. Indeed. So this is the June video. We were right before the finalization of the budget last time we met. The budget has been finalized. It is now in the implementation and transition to that July 1st when it becomes effective. And there's a lot of moving parts with that, and a lot of things have to go on. So I used a version of these slides back in the April video when we first talked about what was proposed in the budget. These slides are now what's approved in the budget. So there's funding for facility activities and operating costs like the special operations warehouse expansion, expanding the mental health unit, additional support as well as personnel at FROMS, additional funding for fleet maintenance, facility maintenance, wireless communications and medical supplies, and additional funding to support the Bethesda Rescue Squad operating costs. So that's a lot of dollars into the operating budget to assist throughout the department. And now let's segue into staffing.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of focus on EMS, of course, and I know that we've learned through the pandemic and so forth that EMS 700 or the capacity officer is in position to be a full-time position, right?
So as I lay these out in the slides, just like the email, I synchronized them as to when things will start. So starting on July 1st is these 2 additional night and weekend positions at Station 40. That'll be a combination of overtime and then full-time positions in the recruit class. So but the actual people in the station starts on July 1st with an additional lieutenant and firefighter on the night sides activities. And then, as you say, October 9th is the pay period and the implementation of a great part of the changes for 23, and that is when EMS 700 System Capacity Officer, EMS 702, we've been referring to it for a period of time as EMS 70X. The 702's been the designation. The location is still in the finalizing points, but yes, these 2 functions start on October 9th. As well as we hope to get our civilian team on board as soon as we can, get these positions advertised in July, interview some folks, get some program managers on board for EMS logistics, small tools, volunteer services, as well as a supply tech at EMS. Again, all of these positions, as soon as we can get them on board, which is going to be that October-ish timeframe, will be a part of our new services in FY23. We talked about expanding and consolidating the mental health unit. We're adding 1 3/4 or almost 2 people to the mental health unit, another mental health expert or a staff member 3/4 time, as well as an administrative specialist there at the unit. So a lot of activities going on and a lot of great growth that's coming in October. And that does a significant segue to the training activities or the training academy plans for the year. What have you heard us talking about on those?
Well, of course, a lot of background work's being done on the recruit classes, and of course we have folks in session right now and coming to completion. We're ramping up, starting a couple classes. A lot of people, I don't have a good handle on the exact number, I'm sure you do, but so a lot of activity there, and certainly
applications very soon. Yeah. So this is the middle of June. Announcement's already out there that on the beginning of July is when we open the application period for what we will term RC 53. So in July, people can apply for positions. That'll be an open enrollment for any and everybody. No limitations or no specific training PTI requirements part of that event. And so that's July. The training classes, so we're aiming for and need to graduate about 84 folks in the next year, which is physical 23. That's a great amount of activities. We're going to have RC 51 in the fall. RC 52 will be in January. There's a lot of work going on right now as to what those are, how those are, pop out, full term. More to come on that, but a lot of folks in the process. CPAT is occurring 3 times a week at the Academy, and background activities are going on as we speak for all of these positions.
And of course, when you're talking about 80 people, that we need to, butts and seats there, it takes hundreds of people to be into the process to get that 80 people. So it's not as simple as just saying, we're looking at 100 people. It's hundreds of people that need to be part of that process to get the cream of the crop.
Right. I believe we sent 350 or so folks forward into CPAT, into the hiring process in just the last couple of weeks to get everybody who's on the list eligible into the next phases of that. And all of that, quote, hiring is really driven towards the other part of the 23 budget. The second part of service expansions are tied to that graduation of the RC 52 class. And that's slated to start on July 4th of 23. That's the battalion chief in quality management, the paramedic chase car at Station 1, as well as 2 additional firefighter paramedics on the mobile integrated health team. And then that flex EMS resource that we've been talking about, maybe EMS 70Y, or another chase car or daytime ambulances. But all of that's slated for July 4th, 2023, after that next RC 52 graduates. So a lot of moving parts that the budget's here. We've got the funding. We've got a lot of work to do to get the people here and ready, get the facilities and resources ready as well.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have, right?
Absolutely. So that's a great appreciation to the executive and the council for their support and funding of the requested budget and the final budget. A lot of good stuff, and that's why folks throughout the PS Public Safety Logistics or the CMF campus are busy, and always the Academy is busy and going to get busier with this type of activity.
And certainly don't lose sight of some of those other long-term projects that aren't necessarily affected by this budget, but apparatus has been coming in and planning for additional apparatus. I drove by Clarksburg the other day and actually starting to see something come out of the ground for a new fire station. So, a lot of other stuff is going on too.
And we're going to skip apparatus on this update to provide another update in July, because things should be happening this week, is what's planned. So we'll report on the June happenings when we video in July. But a lot of stuff going on in the budget. And one of the things that is active and we're engaged with in the administrative and headquarters staff right now is the Reimagine Public Safety, Reimagine Fire Rescue components of the FY22 budget. And one of those is the Equity and Diversity Survey. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so that's been a number of people been interviewed, and there are people poking around and seeing how we're structured and getting some great ideas by people, but there's surveys and things of that nature coming together.
So the county executive team is working with Fire Rescue. We've selected the National Academy of Public Administration as a group that's helping do this study and provide us some analysis. They work through projects to create the highest standards of efficiency and excellence in governmental operations. So there's going to be a study released very soon. An email is going to come out to all of the members of the service asking them to fill out this study, and mostly it's a multiple choice question. It's going to take a few minutes for you to fill out. Absolutely voluntary choice, but this is an opportunity for us to more specifically, it's an opportunity for you to provide input to this group for us to be able to learn. And one of the things that we have to constantly learn, we have to constantly listen to improve, and this is one of the tools that'll help us as an organization listen to you, and in turn let us work to improve and provide better services to our members and better services to the residents. So please take a moment if you're interested and fill out that survey, and we will report further in upcoming videos about what the findings are, what we're doing to implement that, and how that has helped us.
And I think a lot of us have noticed, seems like our communities are changing, and we've been through a lot as a community and as an organization. So these things are going to help us focus or refocus on some things to better serve our community.
Yep, and the other group from the Center for Public Safety Management is also on board with us now. That's the other half of the Reimagine. That's the operations, deployment, staffing, budgeting group that's looking at MCFRS. So they may be out doing station tours and station visits. So as always, you see somebody coming around with an escort, with a member of the leadership. Welcome, talk to them. They're here to listen, they're here to learn, and to be able to help us all improve.
And I don't know if you're ready to move on, but speaking of station tours and visits.
Absolutely, they did a great job. A lot of stuff going on out there.
Yeah, so I've been ramped up a lot. The schools are coming, school year's coming, a lot of career days, but citizens groups, community groups are coming to the firehouses, and our crews that I've seen anyway have done a great job in reaching out.
The number of requests are off the chart, skyrocketing, which is great. People want to re-engage with the public safety, with the fire service. And it's great for us to be able to get back to those events, like you said, school career day, school engagements, community engagement activities, either at their location or at our location. Great opportunity for us to impact the community. And one great example was done over the weekend, which is a focused and collaborative effort with county police and the public schools in the Middlebrook Mobile Home Park.
And Red Cross is involved.
So that facility, that campus of a little over 100 mobile homes just south of Middlebrook and 355 is a tie with the Daly Elementary School. There's a lot of the pedestrian as well as walking student safety activities that are focused there. But we had a coordinated and planned campaign at the complex that really took foot and took hold this last Saturday.
Yeah, our community risk reduction team coordinated. It was basically a safety in the neighborhood on steroids. And they did a great job and covered a lot of ground. And again, that community has been a focus for years now in one way or another as far as safety and as you mentioned with the schools and other community groups, advocates in that area, safety advocates. So a lot going on, but they made a lot of headway and I think a huge impact on that community.
Right. Talk about impact. So there was about 20 residents or units that had signed up for the home inspections for this event in advance. Company 34 C Shift with Captain Rice and his folks were down there. Ultimately, it ended up with about 60 residents, 60 units that wanted to have their mobile homes checked, and the number is astonishing that almost every unit that they went into had missing detectors and operative detectors, needed assistance. So great work, great opportunity to touch and make that silent sentry be present for those folks there. And there was a lot of folks from other parts of county government there and county leaders. And I want to highlight, a set of words that were talked about and relayed about the FRS folks that were there. Teamwork, work ethic, and camaraderie of the MCFRS folks there. So risk reduction team, Company 34, you did a great job at Middlebrook Mobile Home Park, and it's just an example of what work each and every one of you do every day out in the station. So great job.
It's probably worth mentioning too, that was not a simple detail. They were in service, continue to run calls, and we know that's not a slow area. And so they, in between calls, they were doing all this activity, and they spent a good portion of the day out there, and a huge impact.
Yeah, so kudos, big thank you to the Captain Rice and the Company 34 folks. But understand, and I clearly outline and know that every station, every day is out there making a difference. On every call, you're checking that smoke alarm. You get a phone call to come out and assist, to do something on a smoke alarm or a pub ed event. We're there, and that's intermixed with calls for service and answering those 911 calls. So great work.
Yep.
So the heat has been here. It is June. As you watch this video during this month, it'll clearly get back into the 90s. It'll be the hazy, hot, and humid. We've already had a couple days that were sweltering in May, and there's no doubt that everybody's got to be ready for and be prepared for these hot days. Doing the work that we do in the Mid-Atlantic during the summertime takes preparation, and I ask everybody to keep that in mind and come to work ready and prepared for their duty night, for their shift, and their service to their community.
Yep. Stay hydrated.
Absolutely, stay hydrated. So till next month in our July session, take care. Have the opportunity with your shift, with your crew, to talk about, prepare. How will we do this? What will we do? How are we prepared for the unexpected? And be ready for your shift. Stay hydrated. Be ready. Till next month. Thank you much.